TBD on the Knicks, Cavs, Golden State. Good one, Wall at Boston. And how about some newbies? PG-13 hosting the Houston Rockets and Chris Paul and James Harden. A lot of games and a lot of scheduling, and we're excited, and I'm out of breath. Welcome to Game Time here in our studios in Atlanta, Stern 3D. How exciting is it to finally kind of put it on paper and get to see what we've got here?
I'm super excited, Casey, because all the trades, all the movement, and all the new faces that come in. Obviously, ball gets a lot of hype coming out of L.A., but it's about Paul George and Westbrook. Last year, Westbrook had all those great numbers with triple-doubles. Now, is he willing to slow down a little bit, share a little bit so he can go deeper in the playoffs with Paul George?
Yeah, we're going to see, by the way, the teammates getting along in Houston as well.
That's right.
How that will go. You and I have been talking about who's going to get the ball.
That's my ball.
But there's only one still in the court.
I may share a little bit.
We'll find out. You may. I don't know if they will. The Rockets will get the dubs, part of our opening night coverage. And, of course, there as well will be our folks on the best show is, ever was, or will be an Inside the NBA, including Sir Charles Barkley, kind of to join us. So, Charles, now that we've got the layout, what's your take on the opening night games?
Well, we're getting the season off with a bang. I mean, clearly these are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. The Kyrie situation obviously is something that's going to have to be addressed. But obviously the Celtics, going out getting Gordon Hayward, they're going to be better. So I'm really, in any time, people always lie and say you play every game 110%. That's not true, number one. But you always know there's a team that you're going to have to play that you want to get the psychological advantage. So I'm really looking forward to the start of the season. You can't get better than the Celtics against the Cavaliers.
Well, we're going to try, because the back end of the double dip will pin the new dynamic duo in Houston. Chris Paul joining, of course, the Beard, James Harden. They'll be at the defending champs. I want to get to Golden State in a second. Let's start with Houston. Charles, a lot of talk about how different tag teams work together over the last few years. As you've now had it sink in, what do you think of the opportunity for Chris Paul and James Harden to play together?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They both are ball-dominant guys. They are. They both ball-dominant guys. So I'm not sure how that's going to work, to be honest with you. Listen, the Golden State Warriors, they're clearly going to be the favorite to win the championship. But I just don't know how this Harden-Paul thing is going to work out. Like I say, they both ball-dominant guys. And I think they're both terrific players. But, man, there's going to be a serious adjustment. There's going to be a serious adjustment for both of those guys. And I think it's going to be more an adjustment for Chris Paul, because he's used to having the ball in his hands probably too much. So I don't like to just randomly guess, but I think it's going to be very interesting what happened with the Rockets this year.
Charles, on the other side, Andre Iguodala kind of flirted with Houston, went down there. He goes back. Livingston gets a 3-year deal. He goes back. JaVale McGee is back. Zaza, across the board, everyone except Ian Clark. But then you kind of upgrade. You get Swaggy, who gets into the mix as well. It gets under the radar because there aren't new players. But how impressed were you with the way the Warriors were able to kind of put things back together this offseason?
Well, I think, listen, they got their top 5 or 6 guys, so they're going to be tough. I mean, it's going to come down to them more than likely. I tell you what's going to be an interesting team out west is probably the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm really looking forward to watching that team play. I do. And obviously, you got the Timberwolves, made a lot of improvements and things like that. But everything's going through Golden State. They got, like I said, they got their top guys back. I'm not sure about the addition of Swaggy P, because it's going to be an adjustment for him, because he's used to just getting the ball going one-on-one. That does not happen in the Golden State system. But they still got all those guys up front, so they're going to be tough to beat again.
Charles, thank you. We'll see you, obviously, opening night. So here's what I love. Steph, we talked about this the other day. He was saying, we like how the West, a lot of moves made. People are not afraid of the Warriors. They're trying to take shots. We looked at the Thunder improving, Houston, Minnesota. What's your take on what some of the teams out there have done?
Well, I like Steph being honest, saying that your competitive spirit, you want a team to get better and fight, because we know how hard it is to get to the finals. So So with that being said, you saw a lot of the Western Conference teams saying, what position can I make my team better? So you saw with OKC bringing in Paul George, obviously Kevin Durant leaving. But like I said earlier, will Russell Westbrook understand now that Sam Presti has brought in someone to help him get to the next level? Now you go to Houston. We know Chris Paul likes to handle the ball. We know James Harden became a point guard last year and took his game to a whole nother level. Are those guys willing to share? Has to be seen.
Yeah, look, we don't know. The Kyrie question still continues. You sit there every time the Cleveland comes up, we don't know if he's going to be playing, where he's going to be playing. Is there a timetable for you? When you look at it, you say this needs to happen before camp, needs to happen in the next month?
Great question.
I mean, when do we get to a point where, hey, look, enough is enough. We got to get to a point to understand where he's going to be.
Well, I think it has to happen before training camp so you can get into new pieces and figure out how do they gel, how does the chemistry kick in, how long will it take for all the guys to be on the same page. On the flip side of it, I call Kyrie, I call LeBron, hey, I own this team. You guys are going to stay together. Let's go to another finals. We'll figure it out next summer.
Can we get like Dr. Malfi from The Sopranos or Dr. Phil?
Somebody.
Somebody, right? Maybe 3D. Get in there.